y equals or
Okay, so question number 1, we are going to solve by graphing. So the first thing you need to do is take your two equations, these are in your notes, and both of them need to be solved for y. So on my first equation, 2x minus y equals 8, I'm going to subtract the 2x, and it does not matter if you write it as 8 minus 2x or negative 2x plus 8. Divide everything by negative 1 so that y is positive. Box it, circle it, something so I know that that's what you're inputting into your calculator. On the second one, to get y alone, I'm going to subtract x. And again, order doesn't matter. Negative x plus 1 or 1 minus x doesn't matter. So those are my two equations that I will input into my calculator. Okay? So remember the other day I did tell you that this button here, next to your green button, is going to be where we're using to input our x. Okay? So I'm going to start with, it doesn't matter which one you put first, 2x minus 8. So 2x minus 8. Gosh darn, I have felt like, you know what, all day. I got to go to my y equals. I go to my y equals equations, and I put in y equals 2x minus 8. Enter. And then I'm going to input my negative x plus 1. And I'm going to do it wrong so I can show you something. I'm going to use the minus instead of the negative. I'm going to show you what happens. Okay. So after we would enter the two equations, we would want to graph. We want to see what the graph looks like, and you have a button that says graph. So you press graph up here in the right corner, uppermost right button. And I'm going to get an error message. If you ever get an error message and they give you a go-to option, use it because it takes you directly to your error. So just press number 2. And the cursor goes, see where it's blinking? It's saying this is what you did wrong. So I put a minus instead of a negative. So remember your negative key is down here below your 3. So negative, we just replace it and then regraph. Okay, so the red line, now if you don't have a color calculator, it's okay. I'll point to it instead. This line has lots of points that work for it, an infinite number. And this line has lots of points that work for it, an infinite number. But we're looking for this, if it exists, and it does. Because this is the one point that they both share, which means that that's going to be the solution to our problem. That's the one ordered pair, the xy value that works for both equations. Now, our graph right now is set up negative 10 to positive 10 on the x and y axis. So it's very simple to look at that one and see it. But if your window was not that, don't assume that every one of those little hash marks means 1, because that is not the case all the time. Okay? So, yes, maybe on this one you can look at it, but that's not always going to be the case. So, let's go through the keystrokes on the calculator to find that point of intersection. So my choice of words, yes sir?
My graph is not like that.
Go back and look at your equations.
Okay. I have 2x minus 8 and negative x plus 1.
Okay, graph again.
Right.
Oh, zoom 6. Put you back to that. Put you back to your negative 10 to 10. That's a good time to bring this up. I mentioned that really briefly the other day, that this is my negative 10 to 10 grid, that should not be the case. Zoom 6 will put you back to that. Sometimes the origin shifts, like his was completely even off the graph, you couldn't even see the origin. And I don't know what makes it do that, so I can't answer that question. Okay, so my choice of words is kind of strange here, but it will help you hopefully remember the keystrokes on the calculator, okay? So we're going to now calculate the intersect. We're going to calculate the intersect. So Calculate is up here. You can see my little cursor. It's up there. It says CALC. So to get to that, since it's in blue, I got to go second trace. Make sure you see the word calculate. Number 5. And then you'll see a blinking cursor somewhere. Sometimes you don't see it, but it's there. If you don't see it, move your cursors till you get it. And I'm going to move my cursor, my blinking cursor, closer to the point of intersection. There we go. Doesn't have to be perfect. So now, what your calculator is telling you is right now, this cursor is on this line, the 2x minus 8 line. And it's got a guess about where I am. Okay, your numbers are probably not the same. Press enter, and the cursor jumps to line 2. And it's saying, this is where I think I am about. Press enter again, and it's saying, based on that information, I'm guessing that this is the solution. Press enter one more time until you see the words intersection. That is the point of intersection at 3, -2. So what I will want you to do then is obviously give me that answer and then draw me an accurate but not precise sketch. From your calculator. You can always check to see if you're correct by plugging this back into the original equations. Don't go to these, because if you solved them wrong, it's going to work for those. Go back to the original equations, and does the ordered pair 3, -2 work? And if it works in both, you are correct. Okay, questions so far? Okay, let's erase. Well, I'm going to erase. You don't have to erase. You're in your iPad. And let's go to our second example. Y equals x. Done! We don't have to solve it. Y equals -2/3 x plus 5/3. Done! We don't have to solve it. We're just going to go out and put it in our calculator. So when I go to my y equals, it's probably best, you could type right over top of it, but sometimes you end up leaving something that was there before, so I would clear it out by just pressing the clear button right here under your cursors, and then it just goes away and you can start fresh. So y equals x, enter, clear that one, and then here's where I'm going to be inputting some fractions, -2/3 x plus 5/3. So I have y equals negative. Now I'm going to go to my alpha y equals, because that's where my function keys are. So alpha y equals, number 1 is where I input my fraction, 2/3 x plus, need a fraction again, number 1, 5/3. Enter. Once my equations are input, I graph by pressing the graph button. And then I'm going to calculate the intersect. So second trace, that's my calculate. Number 5, calculate the intersect. Move your cursor. Now this would be a good time for me to tell you that if you don't move the cursor, it's still going to work. It's a good habit to be in, because sometimes it doesn't work depending on what you have graphed. It's going to work for us every time, because how many points of intersection are we going to have at most? 1. So there's only going to be 1 point of intersection. When you get to your next class where you're working with curves, then there's multiple points of intersection. So the cursor becomes really, really important, okay? So I just am in the habit of moving my cursor to my point of intersection that I'm looking for, but it will work either way. So move my cursor, press enter 3 times, 1, 2, 3, until it says intersection. And that is my solution. 1, 1. And sketch my graph. Sketch my graph. Okay. A question so far. Brandon.
I pressed enter, the line goes away. The flashing black and white.
The what line?
Not the line, the
Cursor?
Yeah.
Are you getting to this? Are you getting
I got to
intersection?
that, and then when I press enter, it just clears it.
Just press enter again. Then what?
It doesn't do it.
I'm not sure what you're saying, I guess.
So now that there,
Yeah.
I don't press enter, it goes back.
You're on the trace. You're not a slide rule. Now do it. If you get a line that graphs as a horizontal line, you have forgotten to input the X. Okay, if you get a line that goes horizontal, you forgot your X. Okay?